Hello students, today we are going to work on Word Module 1, Project 1, Associated Regional Hospital Creating and Modifying a Flyer. So to access your assignment, you will click on the title and you will see that it will automatically route you to MindTap Cengage Learning. And then once you are in, you'll just simply come over and click on Start. So then you'll have a page that looks like this. You're going to click on Download All because you're going to want your instruction file, your start file, and your support file. Now, your instruction file, I will have that up on my second screen. I know that all of you have only one screen, which is your laptop screen, which is going to be a little bit more difficult for you to have your instructions, this video, and then your assignment all running at the same time. So still download the instruction file if you would like to have it on your end so that you can pull it up and follow along. So go ahead and click Download All, and you will see that they will either download all up here or some might even download down at the bottom. So you are going to open up, just to make sure that it's downloaded, make sure you have your support file. So this image will go in the bottom of our flyer. You do not need to leave it open because we're going to pull it from our downloads and we're going to insert that file. So the assignment that we want is actually our assignment, which is this one here. And then when it pops up, you will see that it has enable editing. So go ahead and click on that. The first thing you're going to double check is that your name is down here at the bottom of your flyer. If your name is not here, that means that there was something that happened when it downloaded. You would then need to just X out of this and then re-download your files and then make sure that your name is at the bottom. And if it is, then you are good to go. All right. So the second thing that we are going to do, well, first thing, I am going to pull up the instructions. And I will leave the instructions here and I can toggle back and forth. Then that way everyone can see the steps that we are working on my end. Okay. So what we're going to do here, we're going to follow our directions here, so we're going to get started. So first thing is that we need to save our file that we are going to be working on. So we're going to edit the file name and we're just going to simply change that last number from a 1 to a 2. That's it. You're all done. And then we can go on to our project steps. So click over to your assignment. You're going to come up to File and then Save As. And then you want, I'm going to save mine on my desktop. It's totally up to you where you want to save it. And then all you have to change is you won't have that 1 in parentheses. You'll just have that 1. So you want to have it the 2. And I'm actually going to override what I've already completed. So this is what it should look like. It should be a 1. And then you're simply going to backspace and put in a 2. You won't have any of this down here at the bottom. I'm then going to save it on my desktop. It's just easier and I'll know where to find it. And then hit save. And then it's going to ask me if I want to replace the existing file, which I will. You won't have that pop up. Okay. So now that it is saved, you want to double check up here. Make sure it's your first name, last name, underscore, and then you have a 2. All right. So let's go ahead and get started on our first Microsoft Word assignment. So let's pull up our directions. You work in the Administrative Support Department of Associated Regional Hospital and you are creating a flyer about upcoming safety workshops. So the first thing that it's asking us to do is to change the document theme colors to blue warm. So let's get back over to our document. So to do that, we're going to go under Design. And then we are going to go over to Colors, Design. colors, which is right here, we're going to click our down arrow, and then we want to find blue warm. And there it is right there. It's under our office theme colors, and it's blue warm. So now we have changed our office colors to these various blue colors. All right, so that's number one, project step number one complete. Let's go on to project step number two. Now we will change the case of the flyer's headline paragraph to capitalize each word. Then we will change the font size to 36 point and then apply the fill blue-gray accent color 1 shadow text effect and then finally center the paragraph. All right, so we're going to break that down. We're going to do it one step at a time. So the first thing is we are going to capitalize each word. So we want to go to the Home tab. Make sure that we select Safety Training Workshops because that's what we're working on. So we want to come over here to where we have the big A and the little a, click on our arrow, and we want to scroll down to capitalize each word. And then you'll see that the S is now capitalized, the T is capitalized, and the W is capitalized. Now we want to change our font to 36, which that's pretty easy. We'll just come over here, change our font, come down to 36. Now we want to put in a fill, which is blue-gray accent color 1 shadow text effect. So to do that, we're going to go here to this fuzzy looking letter A. We're going to click our arrow down, and then we are going to find where it is blue-gray accent color 1 shadow text effect. So that would be the second one over in the first line. So we're going to click on that and choose it. And then finally, we want to center our paragraph. So we're just going to go over here in the paragraph, and we're going to click this line, the second set of lines, which shows that we are centering. Okay, so that was project step number 3. I'm sorry, project step number 2. We're now on project step number 3. So now we want to resize the safety first picture to a width of 6 inches. And then we want to apply the simple frame black picture style. So again, we're going to take it one step at a time. So the first step is we need to select our picture. So when we select our picture, you're going to see that we have another tab that opens up here. So it's picture format because we're going to format this picture. Click on picture format, and then you see we have a whole other set of choices that we can now apply to our image. So we want to make it 6-inch width. So we're going to come over here to the width where it has a 4. Just click inside that box, and then we're just going to type in a 6, hit tab, and then you will see that our image has gotten bigger. Now our image is still selected. We want to put a simple frame black around it. So we're going to come right here where it's picture styles. We're going to click this arrow here to where it's going to open up more choices. And we're simply just going to hover over so we know to find a black outline. So there it is right there, simple frame black. Choose that and you should have this so far. All right, before you move on, everybody come up here to this disc. We're going to click that, and we have now saved what we have already worked on to our desktop or wherever it is that you saved it. Okay, we are now on to step number 4. Now we want to underline the text 3-hour sessions, which is below the safety first picture. All right, so right here, 3-hour sessions. And we're going to come up here under the Home tab, and we're going to click the U with the underline, and we're going to underline 3-hour sessions. Okay, now we are going to move on to project step number 5. Now we need to italicize the text safe workplace in the paragraph, the workshops cover for hospital employees. So let's go back over So right here where it is Safe Workplace, we're going to come up and we're going to click on the I up under the Font tab under Home, and we are going to italicize Safe Workplace. Okay. Now we are on step number 6. Now we are going to bullet the 4 paragraphs of text above the signature line. So this is our signature line down here where it starts with Associated Regional Hospital. So we want to highlight working safely all the way down to wearing protective equipment, down to the word equipment. We're going to come up here under paragraph, and we're going to come here where we have our 3 bullets. Click on that and you will see that they are now bulleted. All right, our next step, project step number 7, is we're going to change the font of the text in the bulleted list to Book Antiqua. Then we're going to change the font color to dark purple text 2, and then change the font size to 12 point. All right, so the first step is we're going to change our font. So make sure that we have our bulleted list highlighted. And then we are going to come up under where it has font. Right now it's Calibri Light. It is alphabetized, so we're just going to come down to Book Antiqua, and there it is. And it's okay if another page opens up. It's just that we're in there formatting, and then once we format it correctly, it'll go back to 1 page. Now we want to change our font to dark purple text 2. So here's our font color here under our font. Then we're going to click that little arrow, and we are going to choose dark purple text 2, which is right under theme colors, and it's the 4th choice. Now, finally, we want to change our font size to 12. And once we do that, it should pop back over to 1 page, and it does. Okay. Now we are on step number 8. Now we want to shade the paragraph containing the signature line in dark purple, text 2, lighter 80%. So let's get back over to our worksheet. Let's make sure that we highlight our signature line. And we want to fill that with dark purple, text 2, lighter 80%. So to do that, we're going to come over here to our little paint bucket because we're going to shade that. And then we're going to hover over until we find the correct color. We want lighter 80%. So that looks right. Dark purple, text 2, lighter 80%. That is what we want. So it's going to be right below those theme colors, the 4th one over. All right. So you should have something that looks like this. So far, let's go ahead up and let's save. You can click that a couple times just to make sure. Let's move on to project step number 9. So now in that same paragraph that we're working on, we're going to change the spacing before to 12 point and the spacing after to 6 point. So to do that, we are going to come up under, let's make sure that we have our paragraph highlighted. So where it has paragraph here, you're under the Home tab. Where you have paragraph, you're going to click this bump out arrow. There we go. And then you should have another box that opens up. So we're going to mess with that spacing before. So the spacing, we're going to come under here, spacing, and we want that to be 12. So we'll just hit our up arrow to 12, and then we want after 6. Click OK, and then you should see it shift. Now we're going to insert that picture. So if you click out of your signature line that you just filled, you should automatically have your cursor blinking right underneath. So to insert our picture, which is the next step, project step number 10. We're going to fill that in at the bottom of the page, and then we need to resize the picture to a height of 0.8 inches. Okay, so we're going to come up to Insert. We're going to come over to Pictures. And then we want to insert a picture from this device because you downloaded the image on this device. So you should be able to scroll right to Downloads, click on Downloads, and then you should see where it has a logo. So I've downloaded it twice. It doesn't matter which one I use, but I'm going to use this first one here just to be on the safe side. So I'm going to click Logo, then I'm going to click Insert. And you're going to see that it's going to populate onto a second page because it's very large. So we're going to make sure that our picture is selected. We're under the picture format, and then we are going to change the height. We can click in there and type in 0.8, tab, and then you'll see that it has populated over at the bottom, and it's much smaller, and you should now be on one page. Go ahead and save that. Okay, we are now on project step number 11. We are going to add a 1-point dark purple text to page border, and we will use the dashed style, which is the third border in the style list. Then project step number 12, we're just going to check the spelling and grammar. So we're going to do all of that right now. Okay. So we are going to go under our Design tab because we are designing our flyer. We're going to go over to Page Borders, way over on the right. Click on that. You'll have another box that opens up. So we want the third selection, which is that dotted line. Then we want to come over where it says Color, and it has Automatic. We're going to change that. We want it to be dark purple text 2. So again, just hover over until you find it, which is going to be right under the theme colors and that fourth choice, dark purple text 2. All right, and then we want to change our width from 0.5 point to 1 point. Click OK, and now you see that you have got this dotted purple line around the outside of your flyer. All right, and finally, we are going to spell check. So we will go under review because we're reviewing our document, spelling and grammar. We want to check the rest of the document. So we see that illness is spelled incorrectly. So we're going to click on that first choice, illness, and then click OK. Some of you it might pop up this Darbonne, D-A-R-B-O-N-N-E. It might pop up and want you to change that. Click cancel or ignore all, and then it should come up and say OK. All right. So go ahead and save. We have completed our assignment. So what we are going to do, we are going to submit our assignment. To do that, you could do it a couple of different ways. I prefer to grab my assignment from my desktop, which again, that's why I have it on my desktop, because it's just easy just to grab it, drag it, and drop it in. So we're just waiting for it to load. Now you see here it says expected file name. It is looking for this exact name. If it is anything other than this name, you will get an error. So if it won't go through or you're getting an odd error and this is all coming up red over here, that means that you have spelled something incorrectly or you might have accidentally put in a space somewhere. Just double check that spelling and whatnot on your assignment name. If you still have problems, please reach out and let me know. All right, then we're going to submit. Now that we've submitted, you can now click Graded Summary Report. So right here, you are going to get real-time feedback on how you did. So hopefully this is 100%, and it is. So if you did not get 100%, please go back and double check your work. If you did get 100%, great job. If you're having problems, please feel free to reach out. I'm here to help in any way that I can.